Welcome to, I guess, what would be the 6th episode, I think, maybe, of Boy Talk. I hope you're enjoying the series so far. I'm getting such amazing feedback, so based on the feedback, I'm guessing you guys are enjoying it. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go into basically I put up 2 questions on my social media Instagram. If you're not following me, make sure you follow me. For everyone to vote which they wanted to see answered first. So the one that basically won the vote, it got like over, I think 1,500, 2,000 votes for this one, was this one. So we're going to talk about this. Salam askthanna. I hope you and Ava are well, inshallah. I'm just going to jump right into it. I'll start from the beginning. You and I have quite a lot in common. I was married quite young. It didn't last, ended in divorce. A few years after that, I married another guy. I have 3 gorgeous kids by him, a girl and 2 boys. After 5.5 years of marriage, he tragically passed away. I'm really sorry to hear that. A few years after his passing, I met a guy. I thought he was my compensation for all that I had gone through. He was a breath of fresh air, or as I thought. He's smart, good looking, has a good career, has deen, and I thought had a good personality. Looking back, I just really didn't understand then at the time, or rather I didn't comprehend the severity. My new husband shows many attributes of a covert narcissist, but I don't have the qualifications and can't independently diagnose him with a personality disorder. He's extremely OCD, and despite my house being spick and span at all times, he still finds the tiniest things to complain about and claims I have no order in my household, and goes on to call my housekeeping chaotic and disorderly. He is emotionally, verbally, mentally abusive, and has also been physically abusive. He knocks my parenting, demeans my way of how I do life. He starts arguments over the smallest, most pettiest things, and can hold unwarranted grudges for ages. He has extremely unrealistic expectations of life and has little concept of empathy or giving people the benefit of the doubt. He literally seeks negativity in every situation, all the time, in capitals. But I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm so attached to him. I don't understand why. I am very well aware that this is extremely toxic and is in no way good for me, but I can't let go. Every time I decide to leave him, I never follow through. I'm so disappointed in myself. I don't know why or how I have become like this. Up until this point, I took pride in how strong and resilient I thought I was. But I'm weak, so weak. I need to leave him, but I crumble at the thought. I know I'm wasting my time with him. I know I have the potential to find someone better, but I feel that he is the only one I want. He is 8 years older than I am, yet he acts like an 18-year-old boy. I am in my early 30s. I am currently living with my grandmother, as we have decided to live separately until we sort out our crap. The truth is, I don't want us to ever live together again. I don't want my children to grow up with such a toxic person, but I also can't imagine my life without him. I feel physical pain when we don't talk. I'm beyond attached to him, don't know what to do. P.S. I don't know if you're good at reading faces, but just in case you were, I attached a photo of him and myself. Please keep all anonymous. Okay, let me see the photo. Oh my god, that question's like probably heavy on my heart, man. Jesus Christ, can you imagine going through all that shit? Death of a spouse, all of the above, to end up with the friggin' Grinch who stole my entire life, not Christmas. One sec, let me get... Okay. The girl is so beautiful. Like, you guys don't even understand. I wonder where she's from. She looks like Turkish mixed with Latina, like, honestly, and she was hijab. She's so pretty. Yeah. He just looks like, I don't know how to say it in English, but muraha. He just looks like naras. One sec. I'm back. Okay, so basically Ava woke up. Anyway, what I was trying to say about his face, he just can't explain it to you I can, I'm gonna have to explain it to you in English. He just looks miserable. Like misery guts. If there was a picture of misery, it would have his face. For his face. It's actually heartbreaking to see, guys, because the picture, she looks so like I have a big thing with like Noor in people's faces, and she has so much Noor in her face. Like, she just looks so like happy, like to live life, like she's so grateful to live life, and he just looks like, we have a saying in Arabic, "Wajami Gossasef." That's basically him right now. His face, even a sword can't cut it. Like, it won't crack into a smile kind of thing. Anyway, that's not important because we don't judge people on their looks, even though I just spent the last 5 minutes doing that. Basically, okay, so do you know what it is? I can like almost relate to this girl to some extent, and I'll tell you why. Other than the fact that she lost her husband, okay, tragically in a drowning accident, but point of the story, it was sudden and tragic, and she had children from that husband. Like, basically her idea of a happy marriage was cut short. So this is what I experienced anyway. Like, and I don't know if, well, I have been divorced, so I should be able to speak on it as well. I guess it was a different time for my divorce. When I got a divorce, I just was not interested in marriage. I was like, whatever. It's like her life. I don't give a shit about marriage. I've already been married, don't care. Like, I was in a different mindset. But I guess people that want to divorce the right way and like be decent human beings and not go crazy and off the rails, I guess they might feel the same way to what I'm about to tell you. You kind of feel, and I don't know if this is how society makes you feel, like you feel strong and you feel amazing and you know your worth, but at the same time, when a guy who on paper has good specifications shows interest in you, you kind of get a bit weak in the sense that you're like, oh my god, like, forget what he is actually, how it translates into a human being on paper. So, and it's really weird because I've always felt like this, but you saying what you said, he's got a good career, he's got this good dean, he's got this, etc. That is kind of what I thought about my last fiance. That came after Mo. I was like, he's a decent human being, like he's a nice person, he's religious, you know, on paper it's all good. And you kind of almost, I know it's really sad, but you kind of feel like you don't deserve it. For whatever reason, I don't know, maybe this is just a widow complex, maybe it's a ex-wife complex, maybe it's a divorcee complex too, but I can only tell you, you know, what my feelings are. You almost feel, I mean, any person can come to you and be like, you're stunning, you have a wicked personality, you can get any guy, but it doesn't really compute to your brain. So I think two of the people that I spoke to really and was kind of serious about, to the point that I let them meet my family, after my husband passed away, 2 of them were on paper good people. One of them was, and this is, I'll give you this, one of them was like 4 years younger than me. Okay, so I thought, oh my god, he's younger than me, he's serious about marriage, despite the fact that I'm older than him, despite the fact that I'm divorced, despite the fact that I'm widowed, despite the fact that I have a kid. Like, it's all of that. And by thinking like that, you start to kind of depreciate your self-worth, which is mad. Yeah, your question actually proper touched me. But anyway, the solution. As we know, what happened with my fiance, if we can even call him that, it ended, obviously I ended it. And the reason being, if you guys have watched my video entitled, I guess, something like why I broke off my engagement, you'll know that I think I just kind of woke up before it got serious and realised, actually, no. Like, I went back to younger me and full of life me and loving me and me looking for a fairy tale kind of person. And I'm like, no, I friggin' deserve to marry my soulmate. Like, I don't need to marry a man who's good just because he's good. I don't need to. Like, I'm okay. Like, I'm good. I don't need this. I can have, like, it's not difficult. Like, we don't realise it's not difficult to get a husband, girls. Like, it's not. Trust me. I mean, I should make some sort of like matchmaking service for girls that just want to get married. If you want to get a husband, it's not difficult. If you want to get a good man who's also your best friend, that's where the difficulty lies. So the fact that you feel like you want to leave him, but when it comes to it, you can't. I mean, all I could tell you is that sounds to me like, from my experience, anxiety of the unknown and kind of feeling like, yeah, you know you can get better, but what if you don't? Like, the thought of being alone. Like, I'm really accustomed to being in a relationship. I'm uncomfortable being single. Get used to it, don't get me wrong, but I'm uncomfortable. Like, my happy place isn't a relationship. Like, generally, I'm a loving person by nature, so I like to give. Like, I like to have some back, but I'm a very giving person when it comes to love. So I need to put my love in something. Like, yeah, I've put my love in my child. That's a different kind of love. Like, you've got other love to give and you want to put it somewhere. I think it's the thought that you, from the start, you kind of looked at him as he was your compensation. You glorified him to a point that he was not. But it's not your fault. It's because of the situation you came out of. Like, that was your immediate next situation. So of course you're gonna have to glorify it. Like, how I've glorified so many things. Like, I remember putting quotes on the pictures of that guy that I was engaged to. I get always speech bubble because I only knew for 3 months. But I remember put quotes saying, God will only take what, basically, I don't know, I can't remember the quote, but God will take from you but will replace it with better. Like, you just start to, like, I guess it's part of, it's kind of weird, but it's like part of the process of healing almost, to accept what's happened. You want to accept that, you want to believe that what you're getting is better, and you kind of put that belief in your system so much so that you almost start to see it. Like, you've got these kind of tinted glasses on now, and that's all you see. And obviously as time goes on, because it's not real, as time goes on, these flaws start to come up. The fact that you want to leave and you get to the point of leaving and you just can't leave, that to me tells you you're not there because of love. You're there because of habit and because of comfort and because of fear. But you owe it to yourself. You're such a beautiful girl. Like, guys, I cannot stress how beautiful this girl is. Forget looks, just even the tone across her email and also her face, like the nur in her face. You can 100% find someone better, and even if you couldn't, I guarantee you, once you make that step to move away, you'll feel so happy within yourself. Like, honestly, when you reach a happiness away from this person, you're gonna realize how depressing it was being with him. You're not gonna see that until you achieve happiness elsewhere, unfortunately. And you can't do that until you take a risk, and this would be the risk. Everything that you're saying, like for me as a mother, I wouldn't want my children around that. Like, you know, if that was their father, their biological father, I'd be like, you know what? God gave them this dad. Like, he's depressing the fuck out of my life. He's sucking all the life from my body and soul and everything. But he's their dad. So I don't know, maybe my answer would be different. No, it wouldn't really, but still, it would be a bit more kind of like, make him pattern up in it. But he's not even their biological dad. Why would you subject them to having that negativity in their life? Like, why would you do that? Like, they've been through enough. And I'm not, like, I swear to God, I'm not even like, it's not a guilty thing. It's just like, I want you to think of it from a different perspective. Like, those kids, however young they were, they've been through enough. And even if they were too young to even understand at the time when it happened, when their father passed away, they're going to grow to understand. Like, you don't want to add someone so... And you know what? We are shaped by our parents, regardless of how much you resent the way they are, and regardless of how much you resent your culture, regardless of how much you resent how they practice their deen. We are shaped by our parents. That is undeniable. And that man that you're allowing in their life and that you've described, that sounds like freaking Skeletor right now. Like, he sounds so depressing. Like, he just makes me want to scratch my eyeballs out, and I'm not even there. I'm just reading the email. Like, that person is the person you're going to allow to shape your kids into the people that they're going to be in the future. Imagine all that negativity that they're going to see. Imagine your daughter sees that this is the norm of what a man and a wife are supposed to be. A husband and wife are supposed to be. Like, you owe it, more than you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your kids to not stay in that situation. Yeah, no way, man. No, seriously, like, don't be fixated in the comparison of the loss that you faced versus what you got. I think it's very, like, I know people say, oh, you know, yeah, of course you're fine. No, the reality of it is, when you lose your husband and you have a child, you know single you is capable of literally getting men like this. You know that. Getting husbands even like this. You know that. You could be that confident. But widowed single mother you is a different story. That person knows she can get men like this, but not husbands. It's different. It's a completely different... I told you this, guys, the last time. It's a completely different ball game. So when you get it, and on paper, actually, this is a pretty good deal. This person has a sick career. He's loaded. He seems like he has a nice personality. His dean's on point. You know, when you start to see these and he'd make a great husband, you forget everything that you look for in a man. Like, that desire to want a best friend, that desire to feel love and attention the way that you want to feel love and attention, all of that you forget, and you put it on the back burner. Like, forget the back burner, it's switched off. Like, legit. That pot's cooked and it's on the side now. Like, there's no flame underneath that. But when you do stuff like that, eventually it will surface. All the red flags you ignore in the beginning, or you didn't see in the beginning, or you chose not to see in the beginning. And I say you chose, but I know you didn't really choose. It was more your want for a better life for you and your kids that stopped you from seeing it. But point of the story is, you still didn't see them. All of those will resurface, and they will end up being the reasons you leave. Like, technically, I would say stop this back and forth. There's no point. Like, you already know you're not happy. I know this is really bad, and I know I'm going to get judged shitloads for this, but if I was in this situation and I knew I had to leave, obviously some men won't give you a divorce straight away, and I get that, okay? you could judge me if you want, and that's fine. I'm telling you practicality here. It's very difficult to, especially when you feel this attached to a man and you know you have to leave him for your better good and for your children's better good. When you feel like you need to leave him but you can't, the only way to combat it is to befriend other people. I'm not talking about just men, I'm talking about a mixture. Just to get your mind off of it and distract your mind off of it and begin that process. Soon enough you have a different lease of life. I know I said don't judge me, it's okay to have friends. But I guess I might have, because it happens. I know people want to say, oh my god, that's like so haram. Like, okay. But I believe marriage is intention. This is why a lot of people didn't really understand my muta video. I believe marriage is intention. I don't believe a human being that can fault, i.e. an imam at the local mosque, he has the power to make you halal to another man. No. Yeah, he's gonna, write it down and read the Quran and the Fatiha or whatever. But I believe the actual thing that makes it halal, more than anything, is the intention of the two people to get married and their families. So, not even so much their families. So I believe, yeah, the whole thing is needed. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying goes and get married without a nikah. Like, no freaking way. Like, no freaking way. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just trying to explain to you why it doesn't make sense when people are like, oh, well, that's not legal or that's not halal. No, like, it's intention. At the end of the day, it's intention. Everything Islam is by intention. Islam bin niyyah. If I want to leave this person, 100%, dead it, I would, and I knew this person isn't going to give me a divorce very quickly. I kind of always went through the same thing, really, previously. I would apply for a divorce from now, put that application in full effect, i.e. it's starting, the process is starting. And mentally, at that point, I'm not going to say I'm to myself, I'm divorced, because I'm not, obviously. You've got iddah period and all of that, and you're not going to jump into another relation. But I'm going to start getting to know other people. If I'm going to be honest with you, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start getting to know, not for the purpose of relationships, no, just to start the process of moving on. Girls are not like men. Girls need to make that process as easy as possible. And to be honest with you, you deserve an easy process. You don't deserve to go through heartbreak after everything you've gone to. To make that process easy on your heart, the process of falling in love with someone else makes that whole process so much easier than having to not have anything on the other side and just be like, I have to leave this person who I'm so attached to. But you need to understand, I'm not telling you embark on a different relationship. You need time for yourself, 100%. And any guy coming to you now is going to come to you at a weak point, and they're not going to be shit. So believe me, do not entertain people to that mental degree. All I'm saying is talk to people. Go out more with your friends. I don't know how your situation is with your family, if you can get babysitting, whatever, but go out with your friends. Be out there and see guys out. You know what? Just put yourself there in that situation. Start to feel that attention that you could possibly get, the potential attention that you can possibly get, so to speak. That will start the process of you being able to let go of this man. Because if we're going back to the question, this man, me as a woman, as a mother, he's not making me happy. He's not giving me the love that I'd want, the love that I deserve. He was physically abusive to you. Boy, bye. And really and truly, you just have to take that step. I know you keep taking steps towards it, but you need to take that. You just need to rip the band-aid off. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. I just gave you the easiest, maybe not so socially acceptable way to do it. That would be it. Make friends. Get to know people. Do you? Don't get physical. Don't take it past friendship. Don't do any of that. But get to know people. And the good thing about that is you won't be heavy invested in getting to know people at this stage because you're still married, technically. Islamically until that divorce goes through. You're still married. I don't want to hear this bullshit about, oh my god, how are you advising this guy? Guys, if you guys knew the divorce process, if you haven't been through a divorce, then don't chat shit in it. Don't. The divorce process, Islamic divorce process, for Shia anyway, I'm talking about for Shia women, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for Sunni, because they know that divorce is frowned upon. They've jumped, I'm talking about the sheikhs, like it's a frigging conspiracy, let me tell you. They've jumped on this statement and they believe it is, that's it. And all the other factors, this person abuses this woman, this person doesn't give money to his children, all of these factors, they ignore. They've got one track mind. No, divorce, no divorce, no divorce. No, let's try. No, maybe it's okay that he beats you up sometime. But honestly, the stories, the shit stories that I've heard, the shit shows that I've had and seen with my own eyes, it's disgusting. So don't tell me that, oh, you're technically not divorced. Yeah, you're technically not divorced. Do not get into a relationship 100%. If you are mentally ready to have that divorce and you've started that process, and any next sheikh is taking his time giving it to you because your soon-to-be ex-husband is sat there chatting shit in his ear, and even if he's not chatting shit in his ear, believe me, basically women go through hell. Women in Islam, despite the fact that God gave us a dowry to protect us in that situation, women go through hell. The number of times that I've seen a woman that's had to forfeit her dowry because the man won't divorce her. Forfeit everything, forfeit the house, forfeit things that should be rightfully hers as the mother of his children, just because he won't divorce her. I saw just recently that ex-husband was asking the woman for money. Actually, please. And he mistreated her. He caused major mayhem. Of course, there's two sides of stories. I always say there are three sides to a story. The wife's side, the husband's side, and then the truth. Okay? There's always different sides to the stories. But this is shit that's happened in front of me. This is shit that's unexplainable, unjustifiable, and it's happened. And on top of that, my man's asking for money. If you want to get a divorce, if you want to move on with your life, if you want to have the chance at happiness, you have to pay me 10 grand. You want to call that Islam? No, my friend, that is not Islam. That's not what God teaches you. I think somewhere in between your book that you were reading to learn about Islam, some of the pages were stuck together and you start skipping lines or whatever it was, but that's not Islam. Islam is about compassion. Islam is about not hurting people, so don't sit there and give me that bullshit. Anyway, my advice is final. I'm not going back on it, despite the fact that I might get hate. Apply for the divorce. I would apply for the divorce. Begin the process, because that is going to be the longest process of your life. I'm not even talking about the civil one, because I don't even know how that's going to take its own time. But the Islamic divorce, get that process started, because you need to have meetings back and forth with the sheikh, all of that. Honestly, start that process. The minute you start that process, to make it easier, if it's going to make it, if it's not going to make it easier, then whatever. But for me, it just sounds like you're stuck in this zone and you're afraid of the unknown right now. And the best way to face that fear and be able to make that final step from actually leaving the Grinch is to get out, just go out there. I'm not saying get out there in the dating scene, I'm just saying go out with your friends. Let you see guys and let guys see you. Let you feel a guy just looking once on you, isn't it? One look is halal. Feel that for yourself and be like, you know what? It's not freaking bleak after this. I'm okay. Clearly, you know what? I can get some attention just based on my looks. And obviously when people will start to get to know me, that's a different story. When they get to know my children, it's a different story. Just have that. I always said the thing that made me more confident as a person, because I used to be so embarrassed and so insecure when it came to meeting people, but the one thing that just changed the game for me is going on a few dates. And I say a few, over 5, under 10. But that and seeing how guys got attached to me afterwards and I wasn't even interested. Like, I was like, actually, I'm the shit. That is the mentality and the energy you need to be taking with you, and you need to be living your life with. Like, don't allow yourself to have less energy than me. I'm a divorced, widowed, single mother who's over 30. My energy should not be higher than yours if you're younger than me and you're single. So don't allow it to be. Have the same energy, if not more. Like, that's the energy we should have as a woman. You can get any guy. Really and truly any guy. That's how you should go into life. And do you know what? With that mentality, you will believe it into existence and you can get the guy of your dreams. A little bit of motivational speak at the end there. Anyway, guys, this was a bit of a complicated one. I think it's probably not a lot of people gonna really understand it or relate to it because it's quite specific. Like, it's different to a different situation. Like, this is involving a death and etc, etc. And the feelings and the reasons you go into a marriage because of a death, it's just different. It's different from someone who's going into a marriage, you know, single. So I'm not saying like you're not going to have the same experience as you, but this is just a bit different. So saying that, I know a lot of people aren't going to really get maybe a bit of this advice or even agree with this advice, but you know, it is what it is. It's tried and tested, so yeah. And you know that the last bit of advice that I gave that might be a bit controversial. Like, I see that happening every day. People, you know, within the community, people that are religious, people that are, you know, when you go through so much shit as like a breakup of a relationship and the breakdown, if you haven't been through a divorce, you cannot talk. You cannot sit here and say, I can't believe you're encouraging a woman to make male friends and female friends, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You can't talk. Believe me, you cannot talk. You're sat in your pink cloud right now, but just wait. Wait till the shoe's on the other foot and you'll understand. Anyway, imagine a guy's cheated on you. He's literally abused you. All of the above, then he went divorce you. Is you as a woman, are you going to sit there and be worried about a little contract that isn't signed by the sheikh? No. I mean, yeah, you should be worried about it to the point that you're not going to be physical with another man, but Lord have mercy. If I need my mental to fix and move away from this guy that's been abusive to me, yeah, I'm going to give my mental to someone else. I'm going to start investing my personality, my conversations into someone else. Of course I am. Are you high? Are you high? Of course I am. Anyway, point of the story is that was my advice for this girl. Begin the divorce process and really just bite the bullet and just do what you need to do. This is not just about you anymore. This is your kids. And you owe it to yourself, your kids, and your kid's father. Like, yeah, he didn't have a say in the matter, but his kids also are entrusted to you. Like, give them the best chance of a happy childhood and a happy life. Those kids have more chance of being happy with you alone than they will being around someone so negative and so toxic. Honestly, it just gives me anxiety just thinking of if that person was around Ava. It gives me anxiety. Forget Ava. Forget Ava. Let me just be a bit selfish here. Around me. Oh my god. It makes me feel claustrophobic. That's what, when I read your email, when I think about your situation, it makes me feel claustrophobic. Like I just want to breathe. That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm in a coffin thinking about that. But anyway, I think I've just had too much freedom. I think I've had too much freedom. That to me is like a coffin right now. But yeah, girls, don't be putting up with shit, man. Seriously. Yeah, God frowns upon divorce and God frowns upon the fact that you've been sexual with the guy and you've not married him yet and you just want to follow it through to it. But God doesn't want you to not be happy. God wants you to be happy because a happier you is able to observe Islam happier and better and, you know, more committed. You're not going to resent your religion because it didn't allow you happiness, you know, because it didn't let you have a divorce. Logic, people, logic. Anyway, point of the story is, that's it, yeah, that's it. If you're enjoying my video, even if you didn't like the advice I give, if you're enjoying my videos, like it's a nice bit of like stimulant for your brain, make sure you hit that subscribe button, okay, and make sure you turn on post notification if you are subscribed, and make sure you follow me on social media so you too can get choice of what question comes next. Yeah, all the links are at the end. But yeah, bye.